This is Joy News Today. Thanks for staying with us. Now, at least 100 shots of the single dose of Johnson & Johnson vaccine have been administered to unvaccinated travelers who arrived in Ghana today. This is in line with the no vaccination, no entry policy announced by the Ghana Health Service as part of its effort to prevent the continuous importation of COVID-19 cases into the country. Airlines will also be charged an amount of $3,500 for each unvaccinated passenger they bring into the country. But just some hours after the rule kicked in, at least 100 unvaccinated travelers have had to receive the jab or be turned away. Let's take you live to the Kotoka International Airport, where my colleague Manuel Kranting has been monitoring the first day of the implementation of this no vaccination, no entry policy. Manuel, let's start with the general situation at the airport so far.
Well, so Mama V, about 5 airlines have already touched down today. Many of them within the African continent. Air Cote d'Ivoire touched down at 9:55 a.m. Africa Airlines touched down at 9:30 a.m. Air Peace touched down at 7 a.m. Then Africa World Airlines also touched down at 9 a.m. Ethiopian Airlines were touched down just a short while ago at 11:20 a.m. Generally, there's been a very high level of cooperation between the airlines and then also the authorities here at the airport. In fact, the passengers also who have been brought into the country, were told, have also exhibited high levels of cooperation with the authorities, leading to the administering of the 102. That's the specific number that we have. 102 doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine have been administered as of our last check at 11 a.m. And so that is generally the situation here, Mama.
Do we know of any resistance and whether or not the airlines have been surcharged with this $3,500 for each passenger unvaccinated?
Well, so Amavi, what we're told is that the rule only made exceptions for flights which took off before the 12 o'clock, if you like, the midnight point of taking off for this particular rule. And so because of a time difference, of course, that's the only exception that has been made. But for now, each one of the 102 people who were unvaccinated have been given the Johnson & Johnson jab and are actually under observation currently. We do not know whether the surcharge has been effected immediately, but the prior communication that we had from the Ghana Health Service, that is supposed to be done. In fact, we're told that there was a prior notice that was issued to the airlines, and so all of them are aware of this particular rule and will be liable to the sanctions that apply.
Manuel, any updates on passenger refusals to receive the jab?
Well, currently we do not have, from our sources within the immigration service at the airport, no passenger has immediately just yet, refused to take the jab. We're told that if that situation arises, what is currently being considered is a 14-day mandatory quarantine for that person at a person's own cost. And so, for instance, if Mamavi, you arrived from the UK and touched down in Ghana and you were unvaccinated and refused to take the Johnson & Johnson single-dose jab, then you would have to be quarantined at your own cost for observation, just so that the Ghana Health Service can be sure that you are not going to take the virus, if you are indeed carrying it, into the general population and then spread it, especially as we enter into the festive season.
All right, Manuel Kranting, thank you very much for that update. Manuel is reporting from the Kotoka International Airport. About 5 airlines, he mentions, has arrived in the country after that directive kicked in, with a little over 100 passengers having taken the Johnson & Johnson jab. Meanwhile, Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Franklin Esierubekwim, has justified the mandatory vaccination, insisting the public's health overrides individuals' personal choices.